Hi, podcast listeners. Thanks for listening in, and we're going to be talking about episode 16, Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. My misheard song lyric is the actual title of the song, the Thank You Next part. For many, many months, I kept hearing her saying, instead of Thank You Next, singing, bacon eggs, instead of Thank You Next, thank you next. Which, by the way, bacon and eggs are two of my favorite breakfast items. So, of course, when I'm hearing that, it makes me hungry. So, we'll be talking about Ariana Grande's Thank You Next and more about her and what the song is about. So, Thank You Next was actually written by pop singer Ariana Grande and someone by the name of Taylor Parks, Parx, Victoria Monet, along with its producers Tommy Brown and Charles Anderson and Michael Foster. So there's a lot of folks helping in on this awesome song. And of course, the lyrics reflect on Grande's past relationships. We'll go into that in specifics later on about the meaning. But let's talk about Ariana Grande herself. First of all, if you're watching me on video, if you're one of our special, listeners that have paid the extra $3 to $5 a month, to be as a patron, you'll see this video, but I'm actually wearing a ponytail for Miss Ariana Grande because that's what she's known for. So she actually was born in Boca Raton, Florida on June 26, 1993. So she's a youngin', and she's an American singer, songwriter, and actress. And she actually began her career in 2008 in the Broadway musical 13. She rose to prominence for her role as Cat Valentine in the Nickelodeon television series Victorious from 2010 to 2013 and its spinoff Sam and Cat, 2013 and 2014. And as she grew interested in pursuing a music career, she started recording songs for the soundtrack of Victorious and signed on with Republic Records in 2011 after the label's executives discovered videos of her covering songs that she uploaded onto YouTube. And for those of you who have not seen her, but she's been on Jimmy Fallon's show before, and she can do like a great cover, just like what the original singer of that song sounds like. So she has a range. And then she released her debut album, Yours Truly, in 2013, and that's when she kind of came into prominence for me. She started with a 1950s doo-wop influenced pop and R&B album. It debuted atop the U.S. Billboard 200 and then spawned her first U.S. top 10 single called The Way, featuring rapper Mac Miller, whom she ended up dating later on, and he actually passed away. Grande has received various accolades, including she has 1 Grammy Award, 1 Brit Award, 2 Billboard Music Awards, and 3 American Music Awards, and 7 Guinness World Records. And I know with her being so young, it's only going to grow to her collection. All 5 of Grande's full-length albums have been certified platinum or better by the RIAA. And when you hear certified platinum, that means in the United States, platinum certification means that an album has sold 1 million copies or that a single has sold 2 million copies, which is amazing. And she's also one of the leading streaming pioneers in the world. According to Wikipedia, she has amassed over 40 billion streams on platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. She is also the most followed female on the two former, while being the most listened female on the latter two. And she's also an influential figure on social media. She is an outspoken feminist and supporter for LGBTQ rights. She asserts control over her public image and is known for her, again, ponytail hairdo and bold fashion statements. And then in February 2019, just this year, she became the most followed woman on Instagram, which is a pretty amazing feat when you're dealing with the Kardashian family as well. Forbes ranked her among the highest paid celebrities in 2019, and Time named Grande as one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2016, and then back this year on 2019. And she also was recognized from Billboard as Woman of the Year, and she was also recognized by Billboard as Woman of the Year in 2018 and declared her the most accomplished female artist to debut in the 2010s. So her star is rising. Thank You Next, let's talk about that. It was released as the lead singer. Thank You Next was released as the lead single from her fifth studio album. Thank You Next was released as, God, I cannot talk right now. Anyway, Thank You Next was released as the lead single from her fifth studio album of the same name as of this year, 2019. And again, it was released on November 3rd. The song was released on November 3rd of 2018, so we've hit over a year, without any prior official announcement or promotion. She just dropped it. And then it was critically acclaimed, with critics praising the song's catchiness and positive message. Very catchy. And the song debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 United States, becoming Grande's first #1 single. And the music video is fun to watch if you haven't watched it. It's on YouTube as well. It was directed by Hannah Lux Davis, and it's referencing some films of her youth that she grew up with. So there's some hints of nods to Mean Girls, Bring It On, 13 Going on 30, and Legally Blonde. And it actually broke several YouTube and Vivo records. And the video itself and the music video itself subsequently broke several YouTube and Vivo records at the time. It was nominated for Video of the Year of the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards. So let's talk about the background of the song, because there's a lot of references. And, I said earlier it's about her past relationships, which people like, Taylor Swift, we've heard about all her relationships on her songs, as well as some Katy Perry. And then, back in the day in the 60s and 70s, that's, you write what you know. So on November 2nd of 2018, she tweeted lyrics of a mysterious track after her then ex-fiance Pete Davidson joked about his engagement with her on Saturday Night Live, where he is as one of the Saturday Night Live regular members. The following day, Grande then tweeted more lyrics revealing that they indeed belonged to a track named Thank You Next, which she described was lyrically and conceptually the opposite of her Dangerous Woman track, Knew Better. The singer also revealed Thank You Next would serve as her fifth album's name with the same title, and that she wanted it to come out to talk about her different relationships. It's, to some, a self-empowered pop and R&B song that mentions, again, many of Grande's past relationships. It also features elements of synth pop, which we've heard in the last 2-3 other episodes about the history of synthesizer pop in its production. And she also explained in an interview that Thank You Next is a phrase that she and fellow singer-songwriter Victoria Monet use a lot, and it's also very catchy. I love to use it with my good friend Josh when we are bored with something. We're just like, Thank You Next, or in my case, Bacon Eggs. The lyrics acknowledge 4 of her past relationships. So when you hear the Thought I'd End Up with Sean, but he wasn't a match, wrote some songs about Ricky and now I listen and laugh, even almost got married, and for Pete, I so thankful, wish I could say thank you to Malcolm because he was an angel. So who she's referring to are the 4 men in her lives that she had relationships. So the Sean is Big Sean. She talked about Ricky, that's Ricky Alvarez, and then almost got married. And for Pete, that's Pete Davidson of Saturday Night Live, and then the late Mac Miller, respectively. And Grande originally wrote the song while engaged to Pete Davidson during their tumultuous point in their relationship. One thing good about it, girl, is now you're not stuck in a loveless marriage and a divorce, and she probably dodged a bullet with that. She actually recorded several versions of the song, which I didn't know, due to the uncertainty of her relationship with Davidson. So what a smart cookie. She was like, I'm going to have different endings to this song, or different versions, depending on how this falls, if we do get married or if it falls apart. And as well as hesitation from co-writer Taylor Parks regarding whether to list the names of the 4 gentlemen or exes in the lyrics. And then later on, Grande explained there's a version where she talks about getting married but not using the actual names. So instead she would just say, I guess Grande also revealed in an alternate opening line that they omitted the names of her exes. They say I'm too young, I had too many boyfriends. I like that she actually shared the names, because it definitely, shares with us. She's being very transparent, and it is what it is. And Thank You Next, I'm moving on, and I've learned from that relationship what worked and what didn't. Let's talk about the critical reception. So Thank You Next received acclaim from many critics. One that I wanted to bring up here from Wikipedia was a Papadatos from Digital Journey. He felt that the song is an ode to gratitude, I agree, an anthem to a fresh start, new beginnings, where she is not afraid, quote unquote, to be raw and vulnerable. Grande's vulnerability is the listener's reward. Mr. Papadatos also says that he thought the song was sultry, cathartic, and expressive, and praised Grande's breathy vocals, which she does, as pristine and heavenly, and is evident that Pop Throne is still hers. Thank You Next garners an A rating. So that's what he felt. And then the commercial performance. On November 5th, 2018, it broke the record for the most streams received by a song in a single day by a female artist on Spotify with 8.19 million streams globally. I can't even imagine that amount. And continue to break this record daily until November 9th, when it's received 9.6 million streams. And then, ironically, the record was broken by Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You the following month. So, she did have her Day in the Sun, but then one of her well-known folks that she looks up to, Mariah Carey, I know I read it was Mariah Carey's one, as well as Whitney Houston, ends up, breaking the record with her famous Christmas song. And then Thank You Next surpassed 100 million streams on Spotify 11 days later after its release, and became the fastest song to do so until Grande's next single, Seven Rings, broke the record again, reaching 100 streams on Spotify 9 days after the song's release. So she's doing quite fine. And then in North America, it became the 32nd song to debut at #1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart issue dated November 17, 2018, marking Grande's first chart topper in the country and highest charting entry, surpassing Problem, which peaked at #2 in 2014. So she's just going up and up. The single also became Grande's 11th top 10 entry overall and her 7th to debut in the top 10, thus surpassing, get this, Lady Gaga and Rihanna, who have amassed 6 among acts with the most top 10 debuts on the chart. So she's holding her own. And then following the premiere of the Thank You Next official music video, returned to the top spot in the Hot 100 in its 5th week charting. So again, once the video came out, it helped her get back on the charting or keep her place in it. The song drew 93.8 million US streams, surpassing the record for the most streams in a single week by a female artist, previously set by, ironically, Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do, which collected 84.5 million streams in its debut week a year prior on September 16, 2017. Now, if you've not seen the music video, it's great. Like I said, she takes some fun reenactments from famous movies of the 90s and 2000s. The video made its official premiere on YouTube on November 30th through a new feature called the YouTube Premiere. It begins with featuring different singers, actors, and YouTube personalities parodying the montage in Mean Girls, where many high school students are talking about Regina George, the leader of the school clique, the Plastics. And then again, like I mentioned earlier, also scenes from 2000's Bring It On, the cheerleading movie, 2001's Legally Blonde, and Jennifer Garner's 13 Going on 30, which I love that movie. If you haven't watched it, it has a great part in the movie where they do the Thriller dance. Let's talk about the video reception. So once the video dropped, and of course it helped her on the Billboard charts hold her own, a lot of love from it on the internet. During the premiere of the music video on YouTube, it was reported that a total of about 829,000 viewers were watching and participating in the live stream, making it the largest viewership that YouTube Premiere has received since its launch. It also, after its release, the video broke the record for most watched music video in YouTube within 24 hours, officially receiving 55.4 million views on the platform in its first day. That is amazing, and that ponytail is just working its magic. And then stars from the reference films praise Grande and the music video. Reese Witherspoon, the star from Legally Blonde, praised the video, particularly the iconic bend and snap scene that was reenacted in the video. And then Jennifer Garner, star of 13 Going on 30, stated in her Instagram page, "Every now and then," this is a quote from her, "every now and then something comes along and just brightens your day. Ariana Grande, you're adorable. Thank you, pretty girl." that's cool. I mean, she got the love, and she could have just trashed everyone and I hate the world and what have you, but she was just like, I'm learning from my mistakes, I'm moving on, and I'm, like I said, thank you next, or bacon eggs. So if you have a song that you, like me, for some reason hear bacon eggs or food or sex or whatever, missing it, please contact us here at the email at missheardsongs@gmail.com. That's MISSHEARDS songs@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, any comments of our current or previous episodes. And who knows, you might be a guest in our future show and would love to hear from you. So thanks again, and thanks for listening. And if you want some bacon and eggs, I think I'm going to get some later today. All right, thanks, guys.